You can get more out of your sewing machine using these 4 creative techniques. By using these 4 creative techniques, you will be able to add extra touch to your garments, really elevating the quality and giving it wow effect. The techniques I'm going to show today will work with any domestic sewing machine. This video is created in partnership with Brother. Let's begin with technique number 1, and my favorite technique is using your sewing machine for embroidery. To turn your standard sewing machine into embroidery machine, you need to do a few steps. First, you need to lower the feed dogs. Usually at the back of your sewing machine, there should be a lever that lowers the feed dogs. Once the feed dogs are lowered, they won't be moving the fabric and you're going to be the one who's moving the fabric. In some machine models, there won't be a special lever to lower those feed dogs, but you can still use this technique by using a special accessory called the darning plate, which will cover the feed dogs. Next, you will need a free motion embroidery foot. What makes this foot very different from standard universal presser foot is that this presser foot only presses the fabric when the needle is going down. When the needle is going up, the presser foot also raises. This gives you the possibility to move the fabric in any direction. Once you have those feed dogs lowered and you have embroidery foot installed, you can start doing embroidery on your sewing machine. And this opens endless possibilities. Using free motion embroidery, you can write using your sewing machine. You can write any word, you can write anything using your sewing machine, and it will add extra personalization on your garment. If you're making gifts, adding something written on top of the sewn item will make it so much more special. One of the viewers mentioned that she uses free motion embroidery to create greeting cards. You can also use free motion embroidery to create beautiful monograms. For this, you want to take a piece of different fabric, add fabric glue to hold it in place temporarily and attach it on your main fabric. Then using a zigzag stitch, you want to go around that shape and set it in place, creating a beautiful, beautiful monogram. One of the big benefits of free motion embroidery is that you are not limited by the size of the hoop and you're not limited by a digital design. You can create the design as you go and you can create the design as big as you want. Knowing how to do free motion embroidery will open doors for so many creative ideas, so I really encourage you to give it a try. Second way how you can get more from your sewing machine is try working with different materials. Now, usually when we talk about sewing on your sewing machine, we talk about either sewing woven fabrics or knit fabrics. But in reality, you can sew any material on your sewing machine. Back when I was a beginner, I had a very basic sewing machine, but I also loved creating bags from faux leather. Here are a few designs that I made as a beginner using my very basic sewing machine and faux leather. Using your sewing machine, you can also work with materials like faux fur. Working with different materials, aside from woven fabrics or knit fabrics, will require you to make a few adjustments on your sewing machine. For example, if you want to sew with faux leather, you want to install special Teflon foot which will ensure that the fabric glides smoothly through your sewing machine. You also want to install the right needle, which is a little bit thicker than universal needle, and you want to make sure you're using a thicker thread. If you want to sew faux fur on your sewing machine, you first want to make sure that you're using correct base stitch and then sew faux fur on your sewing machine using a zigzag stitch. So depending on what type of material you want to sew, you will need to make a few adjustments, but it will expand the range of materials your sewing machine is capable to work with. By the way, I absolutely love working with faux fur, and this is one of my favorite coats I ever made using faux fur. Faux fur is sewn literally the opposite way than any other fabric, so let me know if you would like a tutorial on how to sew faux fur. third way how you can expand your sewing machine possibilities is use different presser feet. Now, usually when you buy a sewing machine, it comes with universal presser foot, buttonhole foot, and zipper foot. But there are so many more different feet that will make sewing easier, faster, and sometimes using a specialty sewing foot, you will be able to achieve a certain technique which otherwise would be impossible without a proper presser foot. I plan on making a separate video talking about different presser feet, but today, to keep you inspired, I want to show you how to use narrow hem foot in a very untraditional way. Narrow hem foot is a foot that most of us have. While it's amazing for creating that narrow folded hem, I want to show you how to attach a cord using this foot. So you want to take either a cord, or in my case, I'm taking embroidery floss, and you want to feed it through that rolled hem funnel. Then install the presser foot on your sewing machine and using a zigzag stitch, create the design you want. The zigzag stitch will secure the cord in place, and using this method, you will be able to add very beautiful design to any garment that you're making. Without using this particular foot, it would be nearly impossible to make this design. Using a right presser foot and pairing it with this untraditional method will unlock endless possibilities how you can decorate your garments and give them extra special touch. Fourth and final way I wanted to share today how you can expand the possibilities of your sewing machine is try fabric manipulation. A few months back, I shared in the video that I'm learning more about fabric manipulation and what you can create using it. This is one of the samples that I created using shibori bubble technique. This technique is done by wrapping different size beads, securing them with thread, and then steaming them so that the fabric transforms into the shape of the beads. After long steaming, the beads then are taken out and the fabric keeps its shape. So most of this technique is done by hands and then steaming. But to attach it to my garment and give it wow effect, I cut it into different size pieces, and using my sewing machine and sided zipper foot, I attached it to this sweatshirt material. Adding this texture elevated the look of my sweater to the next level, and this is something that you can do at home too. Now, there are lots of different fabric manipulations. This one again is done mostly by hand, but there are so many fabric manipulations that you can do solely on your sewing machine. Knowing how to do fabric manipulation will open doors for so many new design ideas. I hope to learn more fabric manipulation techniques this year, and when I do, I will be sharing with you too. I hope that these tips sparked a few creative ideas on how you can get more out of your sewing machine. Thank you for watching today, and I will see you next time. Bye!